one. That's it. Out. So this is cooked, but something more important, there's flavor in the pan, no? Which is adding. So monkfish is ready. Next step, we're gonna put the sofrito that we did yesterday. And you have a spoon. And we're gonna stir. I take this and you stir. Really. This is fairly, if you have everything ready, it's fairly fast, okay? We're gonna lower the heat a little bit and we're gonna add a little bit of wine. In this case, cherry wine, just a little drizzle, okay? There we are. Stir that in. Perfect. And now you put the potatoes in. The potatoes, we broke. Remember, we don't cut, we break because that way there's more starchy, there's more starch in our stew that's gonna thicken it. And now you sear the potato, perfecto, nice and brown. And over here, we're heating up some broth, the fish broth that we made yesterday. And we're gonna pour in, we're gonna cook 10 minutes until the potatoes are a little soft. And then we're gonna add the rest of the seafood, okay? But if you have everything ready, it's a fairly easy dish to prepare, okay? Suquet. I think throughout the Mediterranean, there's pretty much many countries or different cities that prepare one same recipe with little differences. And this is, I believe, one of them, because you know, it's a fish stew, very typical from the coastline throughout the Mediterranean. So see, let me clear up this for you. Okay, the broth is hot. Here, it's very low at this moment. Now, hot broth, see how it starts boiling? Okay, so we're gonna add it, and we're gonna let this, be generous, this is a soup, it's a stew, soupy. So don't worry about adding too much broth, okay? It's nice that there's enough liquid. You don't want it too dry. And this is the typical recipe that is way better. It's great, just cook and eat, but it's also good to do it ahead of time, like the day before, because it's settled. There's a lot for flavor. So now we don't want this sofrito to burn. We're gonna pour in broth. Okay. Keep some just in case. And we're gonna let the potatoes cook halfway. Once the potatoes are cooked halfway, we will add the clams. Not even 5 minutes before we're done. We're gonna add the clams, the mussels, prawns, and crayfish. There we are, sorry, I broke it. Aquí, okay? Nice and fresh seafood. But you can make it very, that depends on what you find in different, harbors, different ports. So, see, we have monkfish, and I remind you that monkfish is one of the firm meat that it doesn't break off, so it's not flaky. If you use other fish, you will need to cook it less. Each fish has different requirements, as in timing, no? So this is one of our secrets. We have parsley, okay? Fried bread, you break it, and it goes. We have garlic and pine nuts. Hold on. Put the pine nuts in the garlic, toasted pine nuts and raw garlic. Everything in. Delicious. A pinch of saffron. That's a little too much. Perfect. And a drizzle of olive oil. What else could you add here? You could add anchovies. You could add, do you remember the spleen of the cuttlefish we used yesterday for the sofrito? We could add the liver of the monkfish. There's many, but we have already the spleen in the sofrito, so we're not going to use it. Now you make a paste with all this. See, I was flying. So my advice, start with this. Hold on, let me show you. You put pressure. And once it's all mashed, then you go ahead and get violent. We're gonna use, you know what helps also? It helps, yes, a sprinkle of flaky salt. And so we're gonna cook this at a high heat. Nuts give creaminess, bread thickens, garlic flavor, parsley, also a lot of nice freshness, which is necessary. Make sure you, why nuts? First of all, because we have them, there's many nuts. You know what Duke cultures use? What they have. And in Spain and Mediterranean, we have a lot of nuts. So pine nuts. You could also use almonds, hazelnuts. But nuts add thickness and richness, okay? So, see, this is already boiling. So fantastic. Let's see. Now, how much is personal? Each chef likes it thicker, thinner, okay? It's your decision. But see, there's some nuts yet that are still, see some pine nuts or garlic, especially the garlic, okay? You have to, don't be shy. Get a little violent. But this sofrito broth is the flavor of the stew, okay? Let's see. Camino porque sudara, I can really taste the fennel in the broth. All the seafoods, the vegetables, everything, no? So now we have to wait until the potatoes are almost done and we will add the rest of the ingredients in the picada. See? That's ready. See? See? Now, this is heaven, okay? And sometimes what we do is add a little bit of the broth in here to melt and to dilute, no? But this is the last thing that goes in. A few minutes before, we will add the monkfish. And 5 minutes before, we will add the seafood. And that's it. It's important to have a good mise en place to get straight away, okay? Now, you have to clean. No, this is the broth we already cleaned, okay? Now, we will check on the potatoes every so often. Okay. No, but they're still hard. The type of potato is also very important, okay? You, depending on the country you are, you'll find some varieties or others. We look for potatoes that are quite starchy, okay? And that don't melt when cooking. It's not a, we want them to maintain firm and absorb flavor, okay? So 5 minutes, and then the rest of it. Let me see it here. No, not ready. Next recipe will be pasta. Okay, so we're heating up water. After the pasta, clams, and after the clams, we will plate carpaccio and dessert in between, because Mike is leaving, and that way she has a little bite. She gets to taste it. And maybe pictures, no?
Sí.
Sí, de antemano.
Exactly. Beautiful. Then today, Nathan, maybe you finish at 2 o'clock and you have to study for tomorrow exam. Okay? Do you understand?
Yes. And then loom. Suquet, yes.
Sorry?
Where can Suquet? And then my loom.
Yes.
Okay.
On estan? Ah, espera.
Sant per aquí el carrer Avinyó.
Per on?
Carrer Avinyó.
Ah, mira.
Sí, els hi vaig posar prop.
Sí, clar.
És més còmode.
What time Suquet?
Tomorrow at 4 o'clock. You can come with me tomorrow after the class.
Okay.
Si acaba abans millor, no?
Sí. Bueno, si acaba a les... Sí, 2 i mitja està bé.
Vull arribar a l'hora per dia. Si demà ve la mateixa hora, doncs...
Exacte.
Si ve a les 9, i si d'aquí a les 7.
Ostres.
Sí, sí. A mi filla deia, mami, jo vull llevar cap a mi.
Sí, ja.
Però jo sempre em dic,
Ja.
jo sempre, de fet, tinc el problema, que ja m'agradaria inclús el diumenge, estic a casa, són les 5:30, i faig,
Ja.
bueno, doncs mira, m'he de correr.
And then how much time you have to be with the dough?
Well, that depends on the
potatoes.
potatoes, the size of the potato, the variety of the potato, the age of the potato, if it's young, if it's old. You have to, sometimes in cooking,
You have to feel it.
you can't say 10 minutes, 10 minutes. Just like the dessert. We said 15 minutes and it was 25. So you have to trust on you have to know what you're doing and trust in your intuition. That's important. You have to taste everything, check everything, keep an eye control. You have to be a controller. So yes, this, they're foreign, they're hard, so no. Now, let's do something. While the this is not for the suquet, the stew. This is for pasta. We have water boiling, and we're gonna cut. I'm gonna show you. We're gonna cut the onion. Do you remember brunoise? Do you remember yesterday we made brunoise? The dices. Okay. So we're gonna peel and make a brunoise. So small dices and cut in half longwise. First like this, after like this, and then yes. And then we're gonna cut also garlic.
This is for the vongole, spaghetti vongole.
Exactly. and cayenne pepper. So we have, for the vongole, we have parsley, we have garlic, we have cayenne pepper, and parmesan, of course. Okay. I know that the onion is for the almejas. No, see?
Oh, forget.
Always keep the root. The root is your friend. It'll hold it together. No, let's do the garlic. You smash it,
Yes.
remove the heart, and we're gonna cut very thin. I'll show you how. Now, I'm lowering the heat here. I don't want it to concentrate too much. I don't want it to all evaporate. So what I'm doing is lowering the heat a little bit. Otherwise, we're gonna run out of, but see, I can insert the knife if there's little resistance, but we're getting close. And this is why it's so important to make sure that all the potatoes are the same size. Otherwise, some won't be cooked and they're gonna take for long. But this is almost ready. In the meantime, we're gonna see and start. Just because we cooks don't like to stay still, no? And that way we go ahead of time with the other recipes. One. This is important to remove because it's too pungent, it's too strong. You take it always, not now?
Yes.
Yes, it's good. Do you want a smaller knife, paring knife? You're good?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the bacon.
Sorry?
Bacon.
Yeah, it helps. It helps to peel. There we go. Now, garlic, all recipes, no? In this case, for instance, they say, the recipe says 6 cloves for 4 people. Well, that's personal. What if you have to cook for someone who doesn't love garlic? Then I would use 1 garlic for 4 people, no? So now that we have this, we're gonna finish the suquet. Okay? Potatoes are almost done. We're gonna put in the mussels, put in the clams, and also put in but we're not gonna add all. Let's add, because otherwise it's gonna be too much food. 2/3 of all the seafood, okay? Go ahead. See, 2/3. Not all. Otherwise we won't have room for all the seafood we have. And that's something important too, no? You have to make sure that there's enough space for all the seafood to cook. There we are, and this. So now that we're putting things on top, like we're adding things to the pot, we have to put the heat a little higher because the temperature is dropping a little bit, okay? This is flavor, so if they break, make sure you put them in. See, that's enough. Don't put all the, because we still have to add the monkfish, okay? So that's why we're gonna make sure that this, although we don't want to overcook at all the seafood, okay? So you put them in. There we are. High heat. You're gonna see how the shells are gonna start pop opening, and we have to add the monkfish in 3 minutes. Picada. Picada. Picada usually is garlic, nuts, some bread. Some people add biscotti, no? And there's a little sweetness, no? Anchovies. Each person, each chef has its own style of picada, okay? But it's very, very Mediterranean, at least in the Spanish Mediterranean coastline, we use it a lot. So, see? Mussels and clams are starting to pop open. And I don't cover it because I want it to evaporate. Since we did not add the flour to the monkfish initially, flour helps it to thicken. So to make up for that non-flour or lack of flour, we cook it at a higher heat, maybe for a little longer, to ensure that it's nice and thick. But I can already see the bubbles are bigger. And these clams are starting to cook. See? They're popping open. In fact, they didn't have enough space. And that's why it's so important to ensure that there's room for everything. Otherwise, it won't cook. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. There's a few clams that didn't open yet. Mussels are opening now. See? You definitely see them moving. They have their own life. Well, no, they're in fact, they're not. They don't have life at all. And so, quite similar to Uyabes, I think within the Mediterranean, there's different styles of this recipe that has a little different. Some French, they add sometimes bread, slices of bread with a garlic sauce on top. There. Do you want to taste it and see if it needs more salt? No? It's good? I'll take that. Okay. So now, sometimes you can add the monkfish. See. See. Do use this if you want. Okay? All the juice goes in. And you don't need to worry much because the monkfish will cook with the remaining. Yeah. Overcooking fresh fish is a big sin. Okay? See. And notice it's big. We don't want it too small because too small overcooks very fast. Exactly. One nice juicy bite. Okay? And then finally, exactly. We need the ladle. Can you? Exactly. That's it. So I'm gonna add a ladle of broth. There it goes. Mix it all. It's very fast. Use the spoon rather than the wooden. The spoon is better. I'll take this. See? In and it goes. Is there something more Mediterranean than this? No.
No, I think not.
No, and the
This is the,
this is the essence of Mediterranean.
yes,
Oh, and the smell, there's the nuts, which we have plenty. There's parsley, there's
the garlic
tomato, sofrito.
has everything.
See? So this is,
This,
there we go. Okay. And you let it, some people like it thicker, some people like it a little more personal. Okay? Very personal. Now, this is really good if you let it sit a little bit. Okay? So that should be it. This is our Suquet de peixe. And we're gonna start over with the pasta. Now, chile, cayenne pepper. Now this was just, but since we already have all the mise en place for the, no, this we don't. For the carpaccio, we're gonna continue with the carpaccio. Do you remember the carpaccio? The prawn carpaccio? And this is what we need. So we have the dried mushroom powder, an egg, olive oil, we need vinegar, And we're gonna make a vinaigrette. I am making a vinaigrette and mayonnaise, okay? Let me bring all the ingredients and we're gonna get started. So this is the sauce that we made. That very thick sauce with the heads of the prawns. Now, it's very thick, so you can't abuse it. See, it's so thick, it's glossy. See. And you need to mix it nice because that way all the ingredients. I'm gonna get the prawns. Careful that you can do a little. You can taste it. Just so don't taste too much, otherwise it's gonna be too. Porto, strong, right? Very intense. But so this is the prawns. Okay. We place it like this. We're gonna flip it, and that's why it's so important to put the prawns in the same sense. We want this color, okay? The right color is right there. Okay. So this is prawns flattened, the sauce from the prawns, the segments of the citrus and its juice, but we're gonna separate, okay? We don't want them together, right? This will make, and we have the zest of all those, okay? Now we will make a mayonnaise. First, with the vinegar and this. So follow me because we have the electricity over, okay? Can you bring this with me? Sí, aquí, acabo de levantar. Sí, all the egg. In. Salt. So this is just a regular mayonnaise, but not ordinary because there's that sauce, no? That's gonna kick in. But the first thing we do is the mayonnaise. The base is a mayonnaise. So what do we need? Like all mayonnaise, we need a little salt, okay, a little vinegar, and I'll bring over the olive oil. Don't put the well. Now, sometimes you want mayonnaise thick, sometimes you want it a little more runny, depending on what. In this case, we want it a little runny, but this, when we add it, will make it a little more runny. So you have to make sure that you remember, okay, what do I want this mayonnaise for? What else do I want to add to it, no? So now lift it a little bit. Now, let's stop for a second. Now that the mayonnaise is at the right, it's not extremely thick, but it's good. So we're gonna add there. Some of the. Oh, the idea is, right. Sometimes up and down is too much movement. You don't need it. You just multiply. See. We need more sauce, so I'm gonna add more. And that's why you don't want it, you want the mayonnaise to be a little thick, because this is liquid. Listen. If you do this, nothing will happen to it. This is no good. No good. There we go. It's good. See it's a little color. Texture is perfect. There. No. Got it. So, done. Emplazaremos aquí. Now. See, that's why here, remember, we had one. That's why. See? We split and we always separate the bottom. This is the bottom. Okay.
Bueno, yo ahora intentaré
right in the center. Okay, you can help yourself a little bit. Okay. And that's it. Okay. Now we have the mayonnaise. We have to make a vinegar. And I have a bowl here. Very hard, pretty simple. You're just gonna use a whisk that you have right there. The whisk. Yes. No, the whisk. This is the bowl. Okay. So we're gonna add a little bit of just a little bit, because it just works. This is the mushroom, okay? A tablespoon, several tablespoons of the juices of the citrus. Okay? And here we go. Salt. I grind it up. Now, the mushroom powder, you have to melt, okay? And you have to be a little more violent. Pepper to brighten up. And olive oil, extra virgin. Nice. I like it both emulsified and not, and if it's not emulsified, if it's broke, if it's like, you can see the difference between the vinegar and the, now, you need to taste it a little bit. Okay, figure out if it needs, it's nice and fresh. Okay, it's a little strong. We want it strong. Okay, so now it's important. This is the one we haven't used. This one. I'm gonna use a spatula that I have in the other kitchen to make a perfect shape, and we're gonna plate. This is very simple. We need this. Okay, the mayonnaise. We can this. If people don't like it raw, you can always add a little bit of oil, just a little bit. Okay, but this is a carpaccio. So carpaccio by definition is raw. No, you can rub a little bit to extend. Okay, so I could serve it like this, or just to cook a little bit, but you can't overcook. That would be terrible. See? There. I wouldn't cook it more, unless people ask you specifically. I don't want it raw. No? Then you make it up. You make up for what they want. I'm gonna bring a spatula, and we're gonna really make it very pretty. Okay? And dessert is ready too, so we're gonna play that too. Bye. See? Some people, you can also use a mold, like a circle, no?
More
There, okay? Now. There. This is the mayonnaise, okay? Nice, see how it's nice and runny? This, it can be extremely thick. And we need this too. We have the, okay? So vinaigrette. Okay. The vinegar. And make sure it's everywhere. Now, lime, grapefruit. Now, if these are too big, let me, just give me a second. You can cut them in half because they might be a little thick, okay? So, there, this one's more pretty. And you can play, there, giving a little volume. So that is grapefruit. We have also orange. Orange we're gonna cut. Okay, this one's pretty. So just 3, no? For instance, 1 of each. And then we're gonna add, you have this, the mayonnaise. Just, see? At the end, we're gonna you can make it perfect, putting little drops. That's very personal, okay? Salt on top. I like citric and salt, it works.
Yeah.
And, okay, decorate with these, and then the peel of all the essential oils are in my fingers. The peels of the citrus, okay? So if you want to decorate with these, and that's gonna be it. And then finally pepper. So just put some more on top.
This.
See, nice and pretty. Make sure that, exactly, that there's a little volume. So I like to use, you know what my advice is, using the fruit to, if you manage, sometimes it's a little hard, right? To give a little height. Okay? Pepper, which is right here. In the center, enough. That's more than perfect. And that should be, you can put also some rocket, you can put different vegetables, like leaves, no, they're nice and fresh. And that's it. So this is the carpaccio. Okay? Pretty simple and elegant.
Have to make more.
Well, we do one, because otherwise it's gonna be plated, and at the end, when you're done, you can eat it, no?
Okay, then we have finished the carpaccio prawns with citrix and the suquets. We are going to plate 1 suquet or?
See, yes, indeed. Let me see if there's, I have big plates over here. No, I have them in the other kitchen. Here. So this out, we don't need it. Okay. Olive oil, vinaigrette. Now important, when you're serving, everything close, no? Some people do this. Okay, so you don't make a mess, because this is hot, and whenever it's hot, it really makes a mess. So you want to make sure there's a balance. There's not too much potato, not too much, okay? Now, potatoes in the bottom will give you a base. And from there, you can use these. You can start building up some volume, okay? So that's why it's important that there's angles, so you can actually build it all the way up. And it's not just a flat. You want to use this at the end, that's a, you decide. Right. Remember 3? Oh. No, see, this one's not open, don't put it. If it's not open, don't put it. Put the ones that are open. Let's see. Sometimes when it's in season, mussels are they're hard to kill. There. See? 1, 2, and 3, it's fine. So, and now you're missing, you know what you're missing? More monkfish and the prawns. See, prawns, this, the gohan. Exacto. And monkfish. Okay. And now the sauce. You put some salt on top, and that should be it. We're gonna get some more flavors out of the clean up. More sauce. This dish is more of a brothy, exacto. So, perfect. Some more. See, that's perfect. And that's why we use this, because then there's no mess and everything is nice and clean. Some people clean with vodka because it evaporates. White alcohols, gin or vodka, and you clean the dishes. See, you have to clean them, not to drink.
Yeah.
So this is our suquet, and this is our
Fantastic, bravo.
This is a starter. This is a main dish.
It's fantastic.
Seafood and textures.
Fantastic Mediterranean dishes for today. Bravo, bravos.